So retirement. I feel like you still had a lot more left in the tank. What drew you to make that decision on retiring?
Been playing football a very, very long time. And you kind of come to a point in your career where you had enough. You know, I felt like I've done enough on the football field. I've done enough accolades, had recent team success. I am missing that Super Bowl. That's one thing was always been my goal, but your body lets you know that the time was right. And I felt like after year 10, the time was right. I can definitely still go out there. I know I can perform, but for safe measures and for my family moving forward, I think the time was right.
When I retired, it was that last year in Carolina, being in Tennessee for 9 years. When you have that, I'm done. It's hard to turn it on, and it's hard to turn it off.
Going into this prior season, the only person who knew was my wife. I knew the decision was made before the season that I was going to retire. You know, we can't play this game forever. I know everybody would love to see me continue to play, but I knew the time was here. I wanted to walk away from the game on my own terms. I never wanted to be that guy that limp away. I just always wanted to play at a high level, and then once I stopped playing at a high level, that was it for me.
Who was probably the most influential player that probably motivated you that you know, because I came into the league and there was a guy by the name of Chris Hope that showed me the way on how to be a pro. He played for 11 years. He won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I moved 2 houses next door to him so I could study film with him each and every night to get my career going. Who was a guy that you felt like that was probably one of the most influential in your career?
That's an easy answer for me. Always been, when I first got drafted to the Washington Redskins, first person I was introduced or they wanted me to kind of mold my game after was London Fletcher, our middle linebacker. He's a Hall of Fame caliber player. I mean, the guy works extremely hard. And the one thing I loved about it, he was an undrafted guy out of a small school. Definitely didn't have the height and the size of
no measurements whatsoever.
No measurements whatsoever. Guy was like a bowling ball, but man, the guy played with so much passion, so much heart. And for me to watch it, my rookie year especially, and to see what he does on a day in and day out basis, to where Sundays was easy for him. Literally, he'll call and plays out, telling people where to line up. Rak, look out for this. Safety, y'all come down in the box, this play's coming right now. I mean, the guy knew everything, and I'm literally watching it, and all I knew was to rush the edge. So I learned a lot from just football in general and just how to be a professional from London Fletcher.
You made 3 or 4 Pro Bowls?
4.
4 Pro Bowls. And I remember we was at a Pro Bowl together, and that's when I met Lil Brian.
Yeah.
Being a father, how did that change you, especially, trying to balance out being a father, being a professional athlete, being a husband? Walk me through that.
Being a father, it kind of put things in perspective because it wasn't just all about football anymore. Before kids and everything, you love your wife, you love your spouse. I'm not taking anything away from them, but something about a kid is just very unique. And it became bigger than football to where I wanted to set the right examples and do the right things and be the man I wanted to be for my son, my very first child. And, it was huge for me. Not saying football was secondary, but like I said, it was more to life than just lining up each and every Sunday. I had someone that I can, look forward to come home with, spend time with, raise my little son, Brian Jr., and hopefully he can be one day a football player, whatever he wants to be.
And that was the thing I realized for myself was you had to leave whatever outside of that door. It just happened out there in the day.
Yeah.
You had to come on, put a smile on your face and let them realize that everything's gonna be all right and I'm here to protect you and do anything and everything. And that was a motivation to drive me through my career. Now, you had some injuries.
Yeah.
And I know that's one of the tough things, and miraculously you always overcame those.
Yeah.
What drove, because I know a lot of people, with tear a pec or ACL, wherever it is, and I understand you had, a couple of those injuries. What motivated you to continue to go back out there?
It was hard, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't understand what these injuries were all about. I was a guy that never really missed games. I never had a significant injury up until my first pec tear in 2012. I came back, I did exactly what I said I was gonna do, but then I got confident again and started getting out of my element, where I had a great year, Then the 2 years after that, I tore the other pectoral on my other arm. So that's 3 pec tears in the span of 2.5, 3 years. And it was just to where I was literally contemplating keep playing or retiring at that point in time. And I tell you right now, it wasn't until I had a conversation with Tim Crowder. We had a great regimen. We changed up my workout plans. We changed out my eating habits. We changed out, worked out a lot of flexibility. And literally, he revived my career.
Now, you're a free agent, and I've been through that whole that unknown.
Yeah.
I was later in my career where you're an older guy, but you were still young, coming off an injury. And what led you to the Titans? I'm sure you had a lot of suitors trying to bring in Brian Orakpo, and they felt like we can get him back to where he's been. What convinced you to go to the Tennessee Titans?
I felt like the other teams were still kind of skeptical, not sure if I can get back to where I was before. I think Tennessee Titans was the only one that I truly believe that, I can come out there and off the bat come out there and make an immediate impact. That was pretty much the main reason to go there. And then obviously having Griff, my man Griff there, that was an easy transition.
You quickly came into Tennessee, made a instant impact. I remember you had the big mural on the side of the stadium, and not too long after that, you're back in the Pro Bowl, and your season's going great. Cause you changed the franchise, which I was there. We 2-14, 3-13, and the next thing you know, we make it to the playoffs. And was that your first time going to the playoffs?
My first time, yeah. That was huge for me because that was actually, like you said, my first time playing in the playoffs, and I always wanted to experience that. I always wanted to get to a point where I'm actually seeing everything play into fruition to where we have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. We were a team that fought all the way up until the last game. It was a win or go home type of situation. We won the game against our divisional rival, against the Jaguars, and played Kansas City where we had no shot in hell to win. Everybody picked us to lose. We didn't even belong in the playoffs. We were hearing all this noise. And for us to come back down 21-0 and come back and win that game, I'm proud of that because, like you said, we started from the bottom. And really, I seen the progression. We worked our way all the way to the top to start getting some recognition, start getting some respect around the league. It goes to show how a turnaround like that is huge when you bring in the right type of personnel, the right coaches, and everybody start clicking the right way.
One more question. What's next? What's next?
Oh, man, what's next? We got to make money, man. We got to make some more money.
Right.
That's what the world is.
But what's next? What's next?
What's next?
What's the hobby? What's next? You got a lot of time on your hands now. What's next?
I'm going to be honest with you. That question is to be determined. We'll see. I know one thing for sure. Come August, September, around training camp, I'm going to be on a beach.